Fort Hays State head football coach Chris Brown wants to win every week, but he really wants to win this week.
Of course, this time around, there was a lot more on the line, like a trip to the state championship game.
And even though the track sits just a few miles from the Missouri state line, it's not called the Kansas City Speedway or even the Kansas-Missouri Speedway. It's the Kansas Speedway, and that is by design. For the Fort Hays State ladies, who are once 6-2 in the conference, they now sit 7-7. So holding serve tonight against Truman State was critical. With the distance between Hays and La Crosse at about 28 miles, the Leopards expect they'll have a lot of fans at the game. The top stars in NASCAR took to the track tonight with one thing on their mind, a $1 million prize. No points, no pressure. Just win and take home the cash.
When is a turnover the most unselfish thing a player can do for his team? When is a shot in the lane worth more than just 2 points? How is it possible that a game could feature 10 players all on the same team? This is that moment.
We talked with their coach before the game and let him know, Ty with this Down syndrome, special needs, he's going to be going to the game. If we can look to, help him out and get that basket.
Ty is Ty Schultz, quite possibly the most popular 7th grader at Grinnell Middle School. And the request head coach Ed Mentz made is one he's made of just about every team he's played this season. But he never expected to see the gesture made by Ness City's Devin Brown.
To show that kind of sportsmanship as a team and to come out and just hand him the ball and basically back away and say, here's your one shot, man. We're going to give that to you. And he came through big time.
That's right. It's kind of hard to see, but as the pass intended for Ty whizzes by his head, Devin Brown, a player for the other team, catches the ball, hands it to Ty, and just let the 7th grader have his moment.
Coach said when we were in the huddle, just give him a chance to shoot while we were there, so I let him have a shot, and he threw it up and he shot it and he made it.
I saw him shoot it and I was like, oh, that's got to go in. And I just saw it go in and I yelled all the way back down the court.
Evan was not the only one yelling. So was the crowd, regardless of what sideline they were sitting on.
Their team, like I said, for 2 seasons have wanted to have him score. So that was pretty awesome.
Getting those 2 awesome points has not been as easy for Ty as you might think. After all, this is still a competition. That being said, both teams are shocked about how much attention this one small act of kindness has received.
The recognition that he gets, I don't know if there is enough. I mean, ESPN, whatever, it's all deserved.
It's really just kind of a surprise on that, because to me it's something that I just expect the kids to do. I expect that to happen on the court and off the court.
It's not going to your head, is it?
That's okay, Ty. No one would blame you if it did. In Grinnell, Heather Williams, KWCH 12, Eyewitness Sports.
At a time when most kids are still trying to figure out 2 wheels, Lake M is already tearing it up on 4. The 8-year-old from Phillipsburg is quickly becoming a star at go-kart tracks across the Midwest. The first time you see Lake M on a racetrack, you know he was born to race.
What is your favorite part about being out there on the racetrack?
The speed and just having fun.
M has the speed part down for sure. The 8-year-old got his love of racing from his father, who's also a racer.
I drove a late model stock car and a cruiser, and I got a drag car. And when I had a boy, I always dreamed that he'd someday race.
My dad teaches me most of the stuff. Like, don't hold on the brake all the time. It holds the gears a lot.
Racing is a total family effort for the M's. From sponsorship to working on the car, everyone is involved, even young Lake.
He's learning a lot, teaches him a lot of responsibility. As we're visiting here, he's cleaning these tires behind you.
And most importantly, Lake is fast. So fast, some tracks actually make him race up in class.
At Hastings, Nebraska, he's running 2nd in points in Junior 1. He's actually not age eligible to run Junior 1 at Hastings, Nebraska until next year. This is his 2nd year in Junior 1 already.
So what's it like when you're out there and you see that checkered flag and it's all yours?
I'm happy. It's fun and a lot of fun.
I've always told him the most important thing is to have fun. I told him as soon as he's not having fun, we're done.
In addition to Hastings, Nebraska, Lake also regularly races at the Waukene Mini Speedway, which is where we caught up with him. In 6 races there this season, he has 5 firsts and a 2nd.
Eyewitness Sports.
Anyone that watched Schoolhouse Rock already knows this, but 3 is clearly the magic number. And the Wichita Wingnuts heading into tonight's game trying to find out if that is indeed true. A win would give them 3 straight wins over the Salt Dogs to start the season, but not a good start to the game. Runner on second for the Salt Dogs, base hit by Asif Shah, scores a run to put Lincoln on the board first, and then the Dogs get the sacrifice fly by John Alonzo to go up 2-0. Wingnuts certainly had their chance to get on the board, but Michael Einertson would strike out to end the inning. Late start to the game because of the weather. Right now, the Nuts have cut into the lead, but still trail 2-1 in the second. Say what you will about Bruce Chen, but he's been one of the few bright spots in the Royals organization over the past 3 years. Chen has led the team in wins the past 2 seasons, and although his record may not show it this year, he's been one of the team's most consistent starters this season. Chen doing his part tonight, going 6 innings and giving up 2 runs, and the offense took care of the rest. Billy Butler blasts a long ball, a 2-run homer to left in the third, and then the fourth, Mike Moustakas with the solo yik-yak to right. Hey, what do you know? The Royals win one at home, 7-3 over Arizona. It's now all over but the shouting. Wichita State will go into next week's Valley Tournament as the number 3 seed and will face Southern Illinois on Tuesday. The Shockers wrapping up the regular season this afternoon in Omaha. WSU gave up 11 hits but only 1 run, thanks in part to good defense. Nick Judson drops a single to left. Chance Ross tries to score, but he's gunned down at the plate. And then the Shocker offense took care of the rest, banging out 14 hits and 5 runs, one of which came on this single by Mike Mucho. Wichita State rolls into the tournament, winners of 2 straight after today's 5-1 victory. The Kansas State Wildcats also wrapping up the regular season on the road at Texas Tech. K-State win the first 2 over the Red Raiders, but not today. Tough day at the ballpark for the Wildcats. Tech jumped out to a 7-0 lead before K-State could even get on the board. The final run coming on an RBI triple by Tim Proudfoot. The Wildcats would get 2 of those runs back in the 7th, starting with this RBI double off the bat of Dan Klein, but it was too little, way too late. K-State falls to Texas Tech 8-2. The Wichita Wild hoping for a little revenge at Hartman Arena. Nebraska Danger playing them a visit tonight. When the 2 teams met back in April in Nebraska, the Danger handed the Wild a 15-point loss. But tonight the home team hoping to turn the tables. They looked good early. How about Marcus Jackson to Landon Turner? Yeah, he'll take fries with that. Putting the Wild up 7-0. Speaking of the Wild, it's not often you get to talk about an offensive lineman, but he is Johnny on the spot. After the fumbled snap, he falls on the ball for another Wichita touchdown. Through 3, 41-41, and there's your final 57-50. Wichita gets their revenge. When it comes to state swimming, the Kansas City area schools are usually pretty dominant. But before you start shipping all those medals off to KC, there were more than a few Wichita area swimmers that would have something to say about that this year. Andrea Hansen of Andover was named 5-1A swimmer of the meet. She also won the gold in the 500 and 100 free, and the Newton girls took home 2nd overall.
I was a lot more nervous yesterday going into, after 50 free yesterday when I was top seed, I was a lot more calm, and then after 100 free when I was top seed again, and then when our relay did really well at the end, I was like, I felt a lot better about today.
You can see all the results at catchitkansas.com. 3,456 spots in the state track championship, as well as the quarterfinal finalists for state baseball, softball, and soccer have all now been decided. To see who made the cut, it's easy. Just head to your source of high school sports, catchitkansas.com. The top stars in NASCAR took to the track tonight with one thing on their mind, a $1 million prize. No points, no pressure. Just win and take home the cash. Emporia native Clint Boyer among the 20 drivers already in the race when the day began. 3 more would add their name after the sprint showdown. The first 2 in, winners and runners-up of the showdown. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is across the line first, followed by A.J. Allmendinger. They are joined by fan vote winner Bobby Labonte. In the main event, the 5-segment winners, 4 of them would start up front for the final 10-lap sprint to the million. Segment 1 going to Jimmy Johnson, 2 to Matt Kenseth. Great finish, as you see there, as Brad Keselowski takes segment 3, and then Junior takes segment 4. But Jimmy Johnson was the class of the field, and in 10 laps, he leaves them in the dust. Taking the checkered flags and the $1 million, Boyer ends up 14th. Who has the best all-star event in all of sports? I say it's NASCAR. Make my argument in the latest edition of the Backstretch blog, where you can find at kwch.com. And if you want to make your case for racing or some other all-star event, you can find me on Facebook and on Twitter. If you want to see some racing a little closer to home, Topeka's Heartland Park is in home of the NHRA Summer Nationals this weekend. Qualifying saw Antron Brown earn his first #1 qualifying position of the season in the top fuel division. Cruz Pendergren topped the funny car lineup, and Alan Johnson took #1 position in Pro Stock. The main event goes down tomorrow.